This episode is sponsored by The Break Room, downtown's best spot for a hot lunch every business day.
Now I see.
Well, folks, sitting next to me is a guy that you're definitely going to know who he is. This is the iconic Ralph Hipp, and I want to give my Wayne's World welcome. We're not worthy.
Yes,
We're not worthy.
When you put, oh my gosh, the iconic, I feel embarrassed. I'm so humble. Chris, how are you, man?
Hey, I'm great. I'm great.
When you were with me, we had our show in the afternoon, our 4 o'clock show before you would come on at night.
Yeah.
And we would sit about like that. You were on my left.
Yep.
And
right
we'd
about
chat
like this.
for a while on our couch.
Had the big red couch.
So you have
cushy.
the tan table.
Yeah, we do.
Now,
the tan table.
The iconic tan table. That's right. No, it's great to be here and to visit with you. We always enjoyed having you come by and mention over on Channel 13 who you were going to talk to that night. And you've talked to some terrific people on that
Absolutely.
show.
We had a lot of wonderful, as you know, I mean, you've done it a whole lot longer than I have. You know, you've been the voice and the face of the good, the bad, the happy, the sad for so long in Topeka. And I wanted to ask you, what's that been like? You know, what are some of the greatest moments that you've had in bringing the news to Topeka?
I think some of the things that really stand out are when we have something new we're unveiling. It makes me think of when I started in Orlando. It was my second news job, being a reporter in Orlando, and the guys, terrific guys. We had Charlie and Bill and Ron and all the photographers with their film cameras, and we go out and shoot our stories. I was with Frank. Frank and I covered Brevard County, Florida, and Cape Canaveral before the shuttle program began.
Oh, wow.
Frank was in Brevard County. That was his area. I'd go see him. We'd go shoot a shuttle story. It was a wooden mock-up at that time. Bring the film back. We throw it in the soup, we call it, in the chemicals, and let it develop. And then the guys would take the film on the 2 reels, like this, 2 reels back and forth, seeing where to cut it. They would scrape off the shiny stuff, use what was like fingernail polish, and hold it down with a hot clamp to glue the film together every edit we make. Now, Chris, you've been over there, and you see, it's called, we now have Edius, our Maximus Edius editors, and it's all on a computer timeline. Each clip is a box that you would drag down into the timeline and in, out, your entry points, send it, boom, it's in the computer. So to even see that in one lifetime, to see all that change, I think is the most exciting part
From
of
chemicals
news.
to computers.
Absolutely.
Really.
But with Jim Ogle is the best general manager that I've ever met or worked for. And he tries to stay 5 years ahead of the curve on where we want to be. But we're trying out a new computer software system for our news rundowns and the way the guys direct the show. And we're going to launch that pretty soon here. I don't even know. Hopefully you won't even know that that's happening. But
Sure.
it's exciting to see the technological changes. And I'm 60. I will admit I'm 60 years old.
I know.
I was doing the Cape Canaveral thing. In the late 1970s was the Cape Canaveral thing. And the thing is, don't fight it, embrace it. And I love to embrace the technology. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I still have brown hair. Do I still?
It looks good. Yeah, it looks good.
I don't know how that's happening. So that's the exciting part. And I want to embrace this and work with the younger people on, hey, how does this work or what does this do? Yeah.
And you've been a part of WIBW for so long. And what have you noticed in that time that has been consistent throughout?
The reputation of the station, that hasn't changed, and it's been the same. We used to have a time in there, Chris, we'd have a new station manager every 2 years. Of course, I think a lot of people know the Stoffers owned the station for generations, put us on the air in the early 50s, and owned it up until we had all of our seismic shifts. They decided to sell WIBW radio. So the radio station and the newspaper, the Capital Journal, WIBW Radio and CJ, I think people know they're owned by the same company.
Yeah.
And we're owned by a different company. But we were sold from the Stoffers to another company and then another company after that. So we're owned by Gray Television, like the color gray.
Yeah.
TV, Gray.
Yeah.
They're fabulous, and we've just expanded our number of stations. So all the stations, Chris, are doing that new system that I talked about. They're doing it in phases. We want to do this together and really jump into the next generation. But for a while there, when we were having the transitions, we'd have a manager for 2 years, and then they would go. Jim has been here for 8 years. And once again, so if he's 5 years ahead of the curve, right?
Yep, that's
so
right.
that's 13.
That's
I guess that would
carry the
yeah,
mat.
Yeah. But for me, it's 22 years now. But the reputation of the station and the history, people know. Well, WIBW, and we watch you guys every night. I even heard from my mom. Talked to my mom on the phone yesterday, and my cousin Mary was in North Carolina vacationing. And they met a couple from Kansas, but she said, my cousin is in Kansas. He's a news anchor in Topeka. And they said, we watch Ralph every night. Out in North Carolina, they said.
Wow.
So my cousin met them, and that was really cool. That people said, we watch you every night. Well, what does that imply? That implies trust.
Yeah.
And we would never steer them wrong on news stories. And I just get to be on the end process. I try to contribute whenever I can. But our reporters and my boss, John, our assignment editor, John, terrific guy with content of the news that everybody sees every night.
Sure.
Melissa,
John has been there for a very long time as well. Right?
John has been there for 15 years now.
Yeah.
So I call him the guru, the content guru of what we put on the air. Melissa is just the most fabulous person. I couldn't say enough great things about Melissa Bruner, and I think you can see that when we're on the air.
Absolutely.
I admire her so much for, and I want to follow her leadership, her mentorship of, is this the right thing to say? Are we writing this correctly? And if you don't do this, you're doing that. Like we have to check with this person before we can go on the air. So just to be a part of this fabulous team, and that's how people say, we watch you guys every night.
That's right. They invite you into their homes.
They do. They feel like they know us. They will say that
we
feel like we know you.
Yeah,
and
they do.
I said, you do know us.
Yeah.
I think you know us very well.
Yeah. And what's a typical day in the life of Ralph Hipp?
I have Melissa for the television part, but my wife is Sheila. Sheila usually has a honey-do list before and we just got a puppy. If you follow me on Facebook,
saw
my puppy, our puppy Finn.
Yeah.
I will be up, let's say this morning, I was up with Finn, our white lab, until 2 o'clock. And I got up with him at 6. I never sleep for 8 hours never ever. I think that's maybe for a news guy, maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So I was up with him, take a little nap, and had some errands to do, and then get ready and come over here. Melissa was busily working on something, so now they're over there getting ready for the news. I said, I'm over with my pal Chris. I'll be back in a little while.
Right.
Doing that. We're getting ready for the news right now, and just to see what they have. Our producers, they're fairly possessive, and we had Stephanie. Stephanie now works for Visit Topeka. Our producer Stephanie's going to work for Visit Topeka.
Yeah.
We wish her all the best on that. She's starting this week on that.
Excellent.
And we have
congratulations, Stephanie.
Yeah, Stephanie Schultz. Keon, and now we have Lindsay. We're bringing along Lindsay. We try to get our 2 producers, so Keon, Lindsay, and Melissa, and they each are taking control of either the 5 or 6 or 10, or some combination of that. And I try to step in when I can, and keep busy and doing other things. Can I do anything? No, we're good. So as long as Melissa and I, if we have it down, we look over everything at least a couple of times. Look over the scripts, or rewrite something, keep it accurate, rewrite something in our own style, where we can come out and relay it on the news at 5 or 6 or 10.
It really is amazing that you could turn on the TV and see this guy every night with Melissa, and it's just it's a comfortable thing. It really is.
It's like, this isn't an insult, I hope. It's like a very, very comfortable pair of socks. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We do the same thing about the same time every day. People ask me, do you ever get nervous on the news? But what do you think they would say? Do you ever get nervous? What would you think I would tell them?
I wouldn't think you would. Not
No.
at all, because it's your comfortable pair of socks, right?
Yeah. Melissa's one sock and I'm the other, or something. No offense, Melissa. But I say we only get nervous if there's something that's not ready. We were expecting it, and at the last minute they say it's not there. We might get a little apprehensive, and so we tried not to have that happen. Everybody has their things done on time. It's called hitting your slot. So you have to hit your slot where your story comes up in the newscast, and that's called in the rundown. So we have the rundown on this new computer system, the rundown, and make sure your story's there and all the information is there, flashing people's names on when to do that, and things like that.
Of course, we're speaking with Ralph Hipp, as the guy who doesn't need any introduction or reminder, because everybody knows your voice and everybody knows who you are, which is amazing.
And this is so fun to be with you and hang out and chat about news for a while. We don't get to do this on
That's
our
right,
show,
that's
on our
right.
news.
And of course, you tune in and watch him 6 and 10 on WIBW, just Channel 13. You'll definitely love this guy and Melissa, the whole crew. They do such a wonderful job.
13-1 we call it.
13-1.
CBS is 13-1, and we're on 13-2.
We're on 13-2 here.
13-2
Yeah,
Tuesday
right now.
nights at 9:30. I remember that.
That's right. You did good. You did.
And Chris, I wanted to mention one more thing I'm
Yeah.
so proud of. I've just been selected by the Topeka Symphony to be on their board of directors.
Congratulations.
For the next 3 years. And I wanted to encourage everybody, which I would anyway, please support this terrific Topeka Symphony. I'm so proud to be a board member and work with these fantastic people to get people to get season tickets and come see the programs. And Kyle Wiley-Pickett, our new conductor, he's going into his second year. We've become very good pals. And he was on our Red Couch show every time they'd have a concert.
We need to have him on this one too.
Kyle would be
we'll
a
bring
great
him back.
guest. And the fantastic programs they have, and that'll be fun. That'll be another thing that I can do while they're working on the news. I can maybe help the symphony a little bit.
Please come back anytime. I'm sure anybody out there in TV land would love to hear more with Ralph Hipp than you already put out there. So it'd be great. So.
And how long have we talked? My goodness.
We've talked.
Holy
13 minutes.
13 minutes. I planned it that way. I planned it. Chris,
That's our cue.
Great to see you, man.
Thanks a lot, Ralph.
We'll see you soon.
Hey, take care. We did recently. We had the Touch a Truck event. It was the second annual one for that, and everything went well. Yeah.
Yeah, everything went great. We had a big crowd, and it's so much fun to see the kids out there with these trucks and the fire trucks and everything, and the excitement when they see them, and to be able to blow the horn or hear the siren. What was really cool was the sand pile, 16 tons that we dumped right in the middle of 8th Street. Wow. And all the kids playing in that, and I'm sure they had fun, but I'm sure the parents thought, God, I wonder if we can hose them off before we get back in the car. Yeah.
As we approach September, how are we doing on construction? I know we were trying to have everything ready and completed for the holiday season down here for the merchants.
Well, in talking to the construction company in the city, everything is right on target. The timetable they set going in is right where they are at this point. They've already laid the crosswalk in the 800 block, the stamped concrete.
That looks very nice.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
And you can see the outline. They've laid the curb in that block too, so you can see how that will extend out and go from 5 lanes down to 3 lanes on Kansas Avenue. So you're seeing progress. They're filling in some of the holes along Kansas Avenue, and it's been an interesting process to watch, but certainly progress is being made, and they're doing a good job.
Up until kind of this point, it was the very ugly part of tearing up all of the street and throwing up all the dust everywhere and everything. And that's still there, that's okay.
Sure.
But now we're seeing pieces coming in. I thought that was very exciting. It was kind of the first piece of something new, the stamped concrete there, which was... We've got a very exciting topic for you, the Kansas Book Festival. And to talk about the Kansas Book Festival, we've got the one and only First Lady of Kansas, Miss Mary Brownback. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
I thought he was just going to introduce you with just your name, and I was going to correct him. So I'm glad he got that going. We are so excited to talk about the Kansas Book Festival. This is year number
4.
Okay, I was going to say 3, so 4.
No,
That's
4.
even better.
Next year's the big 5. So.
Oh my goodness, this is amazing. Well, tell us about the Kansas Book Festival.
Well, this year we have, I think, 31 authors, and we have 26 sessions. So a couple of the authors are together in kind of a panel. We have food, of course, a children's tent. We have a vendor tent that has other authors in it who are not the presenting authors, who are also selling their books. And I think we have close to 30 of those also. So close to 60 authors total, and lots of activity and fun.
Well, what's so cool too about this is that this is Kansas, centered. This is around Kansas authors who talk about Kansas, who refer to like their home growing up or anything that has to do with Kansas.
Right.
And that's what's so interesting and cool about it.
Yes, and that's what we've done, is that if the book is about Kansas or the author went to school here, was born here, we'll take any connection we can get. And the presenting authors are those who have published in roughly the last 18 months. So the ones in the vendor tent are those that have a little bit older book. Not that it's bad or anything, but it's just older because we want to keep getting new authors out there.
Excellent.
Or returning authors who have another book.
We want to say it a few times so if people have the opportunity to make sure they get it in their Outlook or their calendars. It's the Kansas Book Festival on Saturday, September 23rd.
No,
It's
13th.
September 13th.
September 13th.
13th.
See, now everyone's going to remember that because it's the 13th.
Yes.
And we're doing that from 9 to 4. And it happens at the Capitol building, a beautiful
Yes.
setting.
And of course it starts up, what time that morning?
9 o'clock. I think the first session starts at 9:30, so we kind of start at 9 o'clock to get the ball rolling, and then the first session is at 9:30. We have a lot of sports figures this year. We have Willie Wilson that used to play for the Royals.
Cool.
He'll be there.
You'll be signing autographs?
Yeah, well, see,
yeah.
they make their presentation for an hour, and then they go out to the book tent, and they will sign the book if you buy it, or sign autographs, whatever.
Very cool.
So, yes, you can get there. You can bring a baseball, I'm sure, and he'll sign it.
Awesome.
Yeah, that is so cool. And of course, it's right there in the horseshoe in front of the State House on the north side. So swing over there, get some food, get some great books, and of course, head on into the State House as well.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, here on Talk About Topeka, I'm joined by the lovely Miss Shelly Lowery from Let's Help. How you doing, Shelly?
I'm doing wonderful. Thanks, Chris.
Well, thank you for being here, of course. You have a yearly event that Let's Help does. Real quick, before we get to that, it's the DART, the Downtown Adventure Race, Topeka.
Right.
But I want you to give just a real quick elevator speech for anybody who hasn't maybe seen you on our show before to know what Let's Help does.
Okay. We are a nonprofit that's been in the community since 1969. And we take a holistic approach to helping the community. We provide emergency assistance to keep people in their homes, keep their utilities on, keep their mortgage paid. We provide food boxes for them that last 3 to 5 days. We provide a dining hall that we can serve hot meals every day. We have a clothing bank, and we have an Older Kansans Employment Program, and we have a school. So we have a GED program that we've got about 300 students that go through it each year. They're getting their GED and doing wonderful.
Helping people grow and giving people a help up instead of, what is the line, the help up instead of a handout?
Help up instead of a handout.
Yeah.
Helping them help themselves and changing their life circumstances and being a part of that. Especially in our education program, we've partnered with Washburn Tech in a grant called Accelerating Opportunities in Kansas. So they are simultaneously getting a career pathway, CNA, CMA, Advanced System Technology, Certified Production Tech, while they're getting their GED.
That's cool.
And the more people that go through it, the more that are coming back and passing it on to the other students in our classes. So it's contagious and it's fantastic.
So now that we know about the broad range of areas that Let's Help helps the community, let's talk about the DART. It's a big fundraiser that you guys do every year to help raise funds to obviously continue your mission.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about it. This is what we do. This is our fourth year this year.
Yeah. Lucky number 4.
That's right. Yeah, fourth time is a charm. Of course, it always is,
We're
right?
going with that.
So it's this year. Let's talk a little bit about first of all, I guess I was part of the DART. I ran around and did a camera with it last year, and anybody who wants to check that footage out, you can go to talkabouttopeka.com and just search the DART, and you'll find we did a whole segment.
series.
It was kind of a sum up of how it all went, and kind of the ESPN Sports Zone kind of method after there.
Yes,
So.
and what you did will give newbies, potential newcomers to the race, an opportunity to see what fun it is and challenges that they might have to face along the way.
And of course the challenges, so when you look at that and you see the challenges, that's a pretty good idea of what you'll be doing. However, the challenges change every single year, so you won't know what's really happening.
Yes.
And so when they put their team together, how does that work? When do they need to register? What's all that about?
They can register now.
Okay.
It's live on dothe.com.
Okay.
Teams of 3 to 6. Everyone in your family is welcome. If you have kids under the age of 18, adult has to be on the course with them at all times. We don't recommend only 3 people, just because you have more success. The chance and opportunity for success is better with the more people that you have on your team.
The bigger the team, the better the options.
Right.
Yeah.
So get registered right now. The sooner the better. That ensures you get race day t-shirts, which are awesome. They're those awesome dry fit that you can wear continuously to the gym and work out afterwards. So I do recommend getting registered as soon as possible. For all the corporations out there, we do have a corporate challenge part of it, and corporate teams are already signing up. So the good thing about the corporate challenge is the winner gets a $5,000 advertising package from WIBW.
Hey, good.
They can use it, or no plug here, they can donate it to the charity of their choice. And as a charity, that's the first thing that I lose as a line item on my budget is for marketing. So you have your favorite charity, step up and create a team so that you can race for them.
Yeah. A great way to help the community. Not only to help, let's help, but more ways there. The corporations get involved, get their teams going, and people have a lot of fun putting those teams together. Well, and how has it been to get all of the folks together for this? You use different facilities and different organizations kind of help you out and do this, because it's not just, say, Kansas Avenue from 6th to 10th where we're saying here.
Right.
This is all of downtown.
Right, it is.
So how has it been working with all the organizations to pull this together?
The community is so supportive. All the businesses that Rob and Ryan are kind of the beautiful minds behind it, Ryan Winrick and Rob Cummings, and they do the lion's share of going out and meeting with the different companies that are participating with it, and going into their space, making sure things work for us, making sure we have all the supplies on site that we need, or even their volunteers. So a lot of times, whatever company we go into, they're like, our people want to be a part of it. So we get some volunteers too immediately just by doing that. But the community is really supporting and embracing this initiative, so it's very thankful to everyone participating. We're going to have a big party this year in the transition area.
Cool.
So everybody can stay and have fun and tell stories right in the middle of the street and have a good time. So one other thing is this year it's not only supporting Let's Help, we partner with DTI. So
Excellent.
it is also supporting DTI.
Very good. So it's a more broad...
It is. We're trying to get more people involved. More people, that just raises more awareness, and it brings more participants in and supporters in.
Well, it's certainly a great event that has taken over downtown Topeka. We look forward to it every single year. And you will get out there, you will see things that you did not know about. You will learn things probably about yourself that you did not know in this challenge.
Visit talkabouttopeka.com to hear full interviews of all our guests. Connect with us anytime on Facebook and Twitter. Listen live and hear more from Chris and Jamie from 7 to 8 a.m. every weekday on The Big Talker, KMAJ 1440. And keep talking about Topeka.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Well, what? Yeah. Do you want to start?
I thought you were going to start.
You have all the details.
Okay. Here we go.
Let me try that again. I'd just be like, hold on, let me look at her side.